Was there like a beef between Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network?
Yeah, around that time, it was always beef.
Yeah.
with the networks, it was like Disney and Nickelodeon was like the Bloods and Crips at that point. You know what I'm saying?
We have an unbelievably special guest. Someone that was probably in all of our living rooms.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
From all that to Keenan and Kel.
Look, Dex, we're on live TV.
Kel Mitchell from Good Burger 2. We are talking Game 1 of the 1992 NBA Finals. Everyone knows the Shrug Game, you know, where he just couldn't be stopped.
That was like prime time in Chicago when Jordan, started to really show what he can really do. Everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan on the playground at that point.
Yeah. You think Mike would have changed his game and dominated this era? He had to.
Mike is amazing. You can't tell him he can't do something.
I took offense to that.
Because he gonna do it.
Being in that Nickelodeon
machine.
and
back then it wasn't like a lot of union rules, so we used to work crazy hours.
It's like NFL Combine. All right, you got to test these little kids. What's their attention span? How long can they stay focused? So you put them through all this stuff, and only the strong survive.
I'm glad you're not making child labor laws, bro. Only the strong survive.
Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. Welcome to Games with Names. On today's episode, we are talking Game 1 of the 1992 NBA Finals between the Trailblazers of Portland and the Bulls of Chicago, a.k.a. the Shrug Game. And we get to speak and talk this game with Kel Mitchell from Good Burger 2. Loved it. Loved getting to talk with him about all that Nickelodeon, early Nickelodeon stuff. That was early Nickelodeon.
Early, the OG days.
OG, little Blood Crip gang battles with Cartoon Network and Disney.
Vicious.
It was pretty vicious. I wonder how many shanks we had out there.
Man, I don't know.
Homemade shanks.
I don't want to see Keenan and Kel out there, man. I got faith in them. They can take anybody.
We talk Michael Jordan. We talk the Bulls dynasty. We talk the Bulls energy. He's from the south side of Chicago. This guy's got all the intel on how it was to be around that. That was
pretty cool.
That was a crazy time.
Great time to grow up as a sports fan.
We even talk about old Gronky Poo and his cameo in Good Burger 2.
Showing off those acting chops.
I think Gronk needs more.
What can he do?
What can he do? And then we wrap it up with the show by talking about our favorite burgers.
Some good ones.
There's some good burger. I mean, he's Ed from Good Burger. Welcome to Good Burger,
only right.
home of the Good Burger.
Can I take your order?
Let's get into it. Make sure you check out Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, Snapchat, and TikTok at Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We want to hear from you. Call in at 424-291-2290. Leave a message of some game recs, your own stories from iconic games, or maybe some advice. Whatever. Just call in. Let's go. June 3rd, 1992, Chicago Stadium, Chicago, Illinois.
As the second quarter winds down, Clyde Drexler heaves an air ball from distance.
Paxson kicks it to Jordan on the perimeter. He pulls up from three.
This is the Shrug Game. Yeah, cool. Shrug on him.
Welcome to Games with Names. We have an unbelievably special guest today in studio. Someone that was probably in all of our living rooms if you were born between 84 and 92.
Okay.
You know, if you were in there, he was in your living room. You were watching him at night. Star of Good Burger 2. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
That was good.
I gotta try. Host of Burger Tales on YouTube, which we'll get into because everyone knows I'm a burger connoisseur, and I feel like I got someone in the building that I gotta address. He's a Chicago native that grew up in the heyday of MJ, Michael Jordan, the GOAT. Welcome to Games with Names, Kel. Thanks for coming in the studio.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I like that intro, man. That was dope.
It's true. From all that to Keenan and Kel.
Yes.
And being in that Nickelodeon
machine.
Ecosystem, universe, all that.
Yeah, it is a universe. It's Avengers.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, welcome.
Thank you, man.
So, you grew up a huge Chi-Town fan?
Of course, man. I still am. You know what I mean? You got to imagine, like, when Jordan, started to really show what he can really do. You know what I'm saying? And it started to come out. It was like, that was like prime time in Chicago, watching the games, excited. Everybody wanted to be Michael Jordan on the playground at that point. Yeah. Everybody was on. I mean, and then everybody else that was on the team too. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had a little shot like Cartwright. You know what I mean? It was like, it had it like a two thing. You know what I mean? Nobody really knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, everybody. I mean, you left everybody. B.J. Armstrong, everybody, and it was just like Pippen. The shoes, the style. I mean, we're talking about 92. Like, hip hop was crazy.
It was starting to pop.
Man, hip hop was even crazier, man. And Living Color. I just remember all the mics killing it at that time. Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson knocking people out every weekend, and then you watching the Bulls, during the week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
So we're looking at the 1992 NBA Finals between the Bulls and the Blazers, the Shrug Game. Why'd you pick this game?
The reason why I picked this one is because this is the perfect example, and this is something I live by. You think you know me, but watch this.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
You think you know me.
Watch this.
Watch this.
Watch this. That. Yo, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I can switch. It's a whole bunch of different things that can happen. You think you know me, because the Blazers, they were literally like, okay, he's going to go into the paint. We know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? He doesn't throw threes. He doesn't have that. You know what I mean?
Clyde Drexler was compared to him a bunch, same stature. And he was supposed to be the guy, had a better 3-point average that year. He was in that MVP talk. Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff. And then I think the day before, Jordan got the MVP the day before the finals started and had a sit down. And he had that famous quote where, Clyde's a better 3-point shooter than I choose to be. This is the night before this game.
That's cold.
So that he was already giving a little tidbit to everybody. This is what I've been doing. I've been practicing, and he had that weaponry right there ready, and nobody knew. And it was like when you saw them, because they thought they had that defense ready, but then it was like they saw a ghost. Like when he just he started shooting, it was like, oh no.
He missed the first two though.
Yeah,
we'll get into the game.
I feel like that's a plan.
We'll get into the game, but this is a historic game.
Yeah,
everyone knows the Shrug Game.
Yes,
where he just couldn't be stopped. There's so many conspiracies about why the Shrug was the Shrug, the Magic Johnson theory, the Clyde Drexler theory. We'll get into that. What's life looking like for you right now? I know we're doing Good Burger, the sequel.
Yeah, man. Good Burger Part 2.
Let's go.
Out right now. Paramount Plus.
Let's go.
Definitely a blessing, man. It's been great, man. And that was our thing. Like, we knew we were going to do part 2. We want to make sure that it's a heat and everybody enjoys it. And it stands on its own. Like, you could watch part 2 and hadn't seen part 1. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what we really wanted.
I'm looking forward to I'm going to watch it with my little girl. I got a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And I think she'll dig it just because you can kind of see, what these kids like. I guess watching that YouTube shit all day, But, like, you guys are you're so good with the character.
Yeah.
And kids love, like, you're goofy as fuck on there. You're like the Good Burger guy.
Yeah.
And, I want to see what she thinks because it'll be, like, that was our stuff.
Yeah, man.
Growing up. And it'll be fun to see what she's thinking.
That's what it is. We want the whole entire family on the couch watching this movie. You know what I mean? Because, the fans that saw it in the 90s, they can show it to their kids like you're saying now and enjoy it. And it was crazy because we had 5-year-olds, having Good Burger birthday parties.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Before Good Burger 2 came out. And it was like, yo, you weren't even born when the first one came out. And so we were like, yo, the whole family's going to come out to see this thing. And that's exactly what happened. And that's awesome, man. It's a blessing.
What's up with this YouTube Burger Tales? What's this?
So I love that. This is what I'm saying. What I said earlier is like, you think you know me. It's like having these different skills and different things. An actor told me one time, I think it was William Macy? I can't remember when I did Mystery Man, but someone told me be a sponge. You know what I mean? On set, be a sponge and everything. So I always encourage my kids and encourage everybody to continue to learn.
Yeah.
Always learn a new skill. Never feel like you just know everything. You know what I mean? Learn new skills, learn new things. And so I'm always doing that and figuring out different ways to like give back and things that I could do within the community. And so with burgers, every burger place I go to, I get free burgers. You know what I mean? And so it's like they call me, you know what I mean? I'm like the real Burger King. Yeah. And so, I knew during the pandemic, a lot of like mom and pop like burger spots would hit pretty hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so National, Food Service Day was coming around this past year. And I was like, okay, it's been a lot of buzz around Good Burger and things like that. I was like, yo, let me go to these mom and pop spots in Los Angeles. And, the person up at the register, like Ed is at the register, tipped them really, really big. Yeah. And then hear the story of, how they opened up this place and then also give them a burger review, and,
give them some buzz.
They see Ed in there and give them some buzz. And it's been beautiful, man. I've been over 20 spots now, you know what I mean, doing it. And it's just been great, man. People naming burgers after me now. And it's been fun. And I've been finding some really dope burger places too out here.
What's your favorite one in LA?
Shout out to all of them because I'm out here, so I don't want nobody seeing me in the street. Hey, yo, Kel, you said. But I'll name one of my favorites. Billionaire Burger Boys.
Billionaire
Burger Boys.
Where?
It's in downtown.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In Chinatown, right over there, and it is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like they got this lobster tail burger where the tail is like really hanging out of the burger right there, but it's so good, man.
Yeah.
And they season it definitely right. A lot of exotic burgers that are in there too, things that they do, but
the ostrich shit, you
get
some alligator stuff in there. It's gimmicks. I like the beef. I like the beef.
It's really good. Yeah, shout out to Arby's right now, man. We got we got the Good Burger.
Little fun fact, that was my dad's first date with my mom at an Arby's.
Wow.
Palo Alto.
That's deep.
Frank got game.
Better have game. You're taking to Arby's.
Right.
Yeah. Are you on this smash burger craze?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
Smash burger is amazing. The way that it's cooked, the way it's made,
just
the
juicy.
Flavor is so juicy, man. And the way they keep the flavor in there. It's tricks to keeping the flavor in the burgers. And it's just, when they do it right, it's amazing. Wanna Smash, that's my other favorite one.
Yeah.
That's in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Wanna Smash burger. Crazy.
Yeah, I got to check it out.
Oh, yeah. Wanna Smash burger? Oh, yeah. They'll love you. Come in there, too.
I've been to a couple of these smash burger joints. There's Burgers Never Say Die over in Silver Lake, which has like a ketchup mustard onion burger, which is like a take on it's a smash one with its take on like a McDonald's burger.
Yeah.
Then also, I like Burger She Wrote.
Burger She Wrote.
It's over in on Melrose, over in West Hollywood.
Okay.
And there's a For the Win that's really good. That's over in like this little, where is that, Jackie?
That's over, it's right near Paramount there. Right.
That's Franklin, high above. That's like over by the freeway.
We like Heavy-Handed. It's not bad too.
Heavy-Handed.
A little saucy.
A little saucy on
little saucy. I like a little too saucy.
Is it good sauce?
It's good sauce though. It's good sauce though. It's got good branding too. The branding is
good. Let's jump into it, man. How was it being? Because we have a segment where we go back in.
Okay.
To the date of when this game took place,
like
which on this one was June 3rd, 1992.
Ooh.
And we had Patriots Games as #1 movie. That's with the Harrison Ford. He's one of the. I feel like there was a lot of those type of Harrison Ford movies. What was the other ones, Jackie?
It was always he was on an airplane and he was looking for his wife and
The Fugitive. I liked him.
Ooh, The Fugitive.
I liked him. Criss Cross was the #1 song by Jump. Criss Cross will make you jump. They used to wear everything backwards.
Hell yeah.
Love Criss Cross.
Who didn't? I remember watching them on A Living Color. Wasn't that their breakout?
Man, I mean, they were already killing it.
Were they killing it?
Way before that.
Yeah,
way before that. And it's for me, being there around that age at the same time, because in '92 I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So you gotta imagine, I wore my clothes backwards. I had all the fresh haircuts. My sister She, that does hair. You know what I mean? And so around that time, she was just starting out. So she would practice on me. So I had all the dope fades with the,
parts.
Yeah, all the art. I had the MC Hammer, parts in my head and all of that. And I definitely, had my clothes backwards. I used to dance too. Yeah. I also rapped as well. Yeah, man. But 92, definitely, man. I was into everything hip hop, breakdancing, graffiti, all of it. yeah.
Was this the last time you could really be a kid? Because when did you start doing? When did you start doing all that?
Now all that was, I feel like that was 94.
So that's 2 years.
94.
So you're really a kid here.
Yeah, I'm a kid here.
and then you hit into high school, and all of a sudden, this is the last time you probably were a kid.
Well, 92 was big because this was the start of the origin story. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is when people started to figure out Kel wants to do this. This is what he's going to be into, because it was a thing where I kept getting in trouble in school, because I was a bit of a class clown. Yeah. I always wanted to put on a show.
Probably hella funny in class.
Oh, dude. It's people that hit me up now, or on social media, Instagram, like, yo, Kel, you remember when you did that thing in the classroom? And I'm like, no, I don't know. But yeah, man, that was the thing. And my parents tried everything around this time, to put me in, to keep me with something positive. You know what I mean? Because I had friends that were on the up and up, and I had some friends that was wilding out south side of shot. You know what I mean? So, but then shout out to my parents for just keeping it real positive. And they found acting was the thing, man. They put me in theater, and it was this community theater called ETA Creative Arts Foundation. And they had a summer course. Yeah. And I went and did the summer course there. And I was like, yo, I found my people. This is where I need to be. All the stuff I'm getting in trouble in class with, I could do it here. And it became like a job. You know what I mean? So I did the showcase there, started working there doing theater. From there, I started doing more theater with, even adults. I started to turn into a job. But this was never a thing of I'm going to get on TV. This was more of a positive outlet for something to do so I wouldn't get in trouble. You know what I mean? No. And so, man, and it just birthed all of these things. And I remember one thing about 92 that I remember big was that I had a talent show at my school. And it was at Roseland Christian School, right? In Roseland. And I remember I played Martin Luther King and I played MC Hammer. Within this,
that's range. That's range, folks.
It was wild.
Range.
Right. So basically it was called, I think it was a play called Amazing Grace, but it was like a talent show plus a play that the teacher had put together. And I remember I had my Martin Luther King thing, but then it were it revved up. It was all Black history, and it revved up. And then it was okay, now you get to perform. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be MC Hammer. And so a lot of the guys was like, oh man, they were dancing in other parts. And so, but MC Hammer has a bunch of people. So it's just yo, what I'm gonna do? He got 15 people dancing behind him. I gotta get some people in here. And I remember it was about 15, a couple of the girls from different classes, they didn't have nothing to do. And I just choreographed all of them. And so I had literally 15 behind me just dancing because I love to dance.
Break it down.
Yeah, I broke it down. We did Too Legit to Quit. It was crazy. Too Legit to Quit, Crisscross, hieroglyphics, Onyx. I mean, it was so much dopeness that was in 92 in hip hop that was just crazy. Kid and Play.
House
Rock
Party.
Him, you know what I mean? Juice, it's so much, dude.
92. So this is, is this the year you kind of found? So you said was it high school in 2 years?
It was high school in 2 years.
Okay.
So then when
I
got
in 8th grade, you're still just kicking it.
I'm kicking it in 92.
You playing sports?
I'm playing, you know what? I was playing sports. I did football a little bit. And then I did, of course, basketball because the Bulls were killing it. So everybody wanted to play basketball. But I was into, I did do sports, but I was into Kung Fu and Taekwondo. Yeah. So I started doing Kung Fu, Taekwondo, and then I became a theater kid. And that's literally how it went. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was okay, remember when I said they tried everything? We tried the sports, but what really hit was the drama. And and the Kung Fu. Because I love Bruce, man.
Bruce Lee was insane.
Yeah, and Bruce Lee Roy from Last Dragon. Yeah. Come on, shout out to Tamok. Look it up.
I used to low key love the theater stuff. Yeah, when I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They'd always have you had to do the plays. We did the plays, and I would always take it so serious, and I I mean, I remember getting the high of having someone laugh off. I would improv my shit.
That's what it is, bro. Yes.
My teacher would get so mad, but it'd make the people laugh and stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to my teacher. I forgot her name.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Miss forgot her name.
Hey, she was cool. She gave it her all. We were probably little knuckleheads trying to get that.
Facts, man. Facts.
Also around this time, Johnny Carson's final appearance as host of The Tonight Show, May 22nd. That was my birthday. Johnny Carson.
Man, a G.
I don't really remember him like that.
Yeah.
I remember Jay Leno.
Yeah.
You know, that was more my time.
Yeah,
what about
man.
you, Jack? You remember?
I was more of a Letterman guy.
Letterman, Jay Leno,
Yeah.
same. They were in the
Same,
same.
yeah, the Late Night Wars.
Yeah, Late Night Wars.
Johnny
Wars,
wrapped
man.
it up with Bette Midler and Robin Williams, final two guests.
Robin Williams.
Wow.
Solid way to go out.
Robin Williams, man.
R.I.P.
A beast.
R.I.P.
He was one of my favorite. You know what I mean? As far as like comedians,
Dude.
Man, you got to look at it, man. I mean, around this time, it was what? In Living Color, all of them, man, just inspired me. You know, of course, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy inspired me. Yeah, man. Robin Williams, you know, all of them. And John Ritter.
Yeah.
That was another one that just like, man, you know what I mean? Inspired me a lot, man.
Robin Williams,
Yeah.
man. I saw something on social recently where he was doing a commercial and he was young in his thing.
Yeah.
And he was getting into these crazy alter egos. And it took him, his line was like literally one sentence.
Yeah.
And it took him 45 minutes to get the one sentence because he kept on going into these crazy different characters.
Yeah.
And fucking with the people. And like he was just in his like element.
Yeah, man.
And it was just so funny because he'd have conversations and like with himself and with different characters and so talented.
Making it, I mean, he just a beast, man. Weaponry of just like amazing comedy. You know what I mean?
Mrs. Doubtfire, Jack.
Come on,
All
man.
time, man.
I mean,
Drama and comedy.
It's sad. It's sad.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the legend.
For
Come
real.
on.
Also, Alien came out. Are you Alien guy? You watch
I
these?
loved Aliens, man. I love Aliens so much. I had it on a VHS with Ghostbusters, Last Dragon, and Purple Rain. They were all on the VHS.
Don't record over that VHS.
Do you remember remember the Ninja Turtle VHS? And then like they'd have the Burger King ad before.
Right before they had to get you.
Yeah,
advertise.
with the kid with like the cartoon kid who'd come in.
Eat this burger.
Yeah.
While watching the movie. Yeah, man. It was a great time, especially for movies too. Like music, movies.
Lethal Weapon 3.
Woo.
Riggs.
Yeah, man.
That was like me and Slater, Matthew
Love
Slater.
Lethal Weapon, man.
Batman Returns. Is that the one with the penguin? That's the penguin one. With
That
Danny DeVito?
was DeVito, I believe.
That's number
Is
2.
that Vito? Yeah, I think so.
I loved those Batmans.
Yeah, man.
They were like
all of
looking back, they're like kind of bad after the first one, but
Yeah.
That was Keaton. That was Michael Keaton.
that was Keaton.
Yep.
The first one was the best one to me.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, back
Jack
then,
Nicklaus.
like in the, you know, that time.
Prince
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Oh, Prince! Come on, I'm a big Prince fan, man.
Yeah.
So that was crazy.
That was such a crazy that was a great movie. Sister Act. I love Whoopi.
Shout out to Whoopi.
Whoopi was
Another
her
genius.
time.
Yeah.
This Ghost was a little before this. Was Ghost 90, 89?
Mhm.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Color Purple, right around
Color
this
Purple.
too. Yes, man, Whoopi. Whoopi's amazing too. Meeting her too, and just that's the thing.
You got a
too.
Whoopi story?
That's the thing. 92. Oh yeah.
What's a Whoopi story?
Okay, because she was just amazing. So basically, I think it was the first time we met Whoopi was Big Help. Remember the Big Help-a-thon and all this stuff? Because we had Big Help-a-thon, we had the Kids' Choice Awards, and all these things that were popping off in the early
For you
90s.
young people, there wasn't this thing called what's the little app everyone where you
GoFundMe?
There was no GoFundMe.
no.
You used to call into a landline.
Yeah.
And all these celebrities would just be on there and they'd say, how much money do you want to get? And that's what it was.
Bro.
And there'd be like a performance, a stand-up act. So all you young kids, okay, there was no Venmos. There was none of that.
None of that.
There was call-ins, call lines for good stuff.
So
Sorry
awesome.
for cutting you off.
No worries, man. No worries. Like it was just so awesome to meet all these people, and that's what I was saying. Like when we met Whoopi, it was like, yo, I just watched Sister Act. I just watched, and then around that time, I think like it was 94, so it was like Sister Act 2 that came out. You know what I mean? That's the one I love. Like Sister Act 2, Lauryn Hill, you know, Fugees, you know, I always said I was a big B-boy, so I was breakdancing and all that stuff. So to like meet like, you know, Lauryn Hill and all these acts, because that was the thing, like with all that, we had every musical act. And like, you know, and then also in our audience alone, we had a lot of comedians that we looked up to that would come and bring their kids and stuff like that. So our audiences would be crazy too.
Who's your favorite person you got to meet in that time span?
Man, everybody, man. You talking about LL, Aaliyah, TLC did the theme song. You know what I mean? It's
TLC.
like
Left Eye was there? Was Left Eye?
Yeah, Left Eye was there, man. This is the TLC where they were at the beginning of it all. And you know, and still to be cool with everyone at this point, like Usher, when he was first getting started. I remember Usher had on some Timberlands in a jersey, and we had that, you know, garage stage, and we had like a fire escape, you know, set thing that we made, and he just was like, no other entertainer had done this that guest starred on the show, but he's like, I want to start at the fire escape, and he slid down the fire escape, did a spin and a split, and then started singing, and I was like, oh yeah, he's about to kill it. He's gonna kill it. Look at us now, you know, Super Bowl, everything. Like Usher's amazing, man.
Dude,
yeah.
People sleep on his dancing.
Oh, Usher's amazing. Yeah,
like
he's
people, because you know this new generation, Chris Brown became kind of like the Usher of the next
man.
You know, who could sing and dance. Usher used to those music videos were crazy.
He still got it. He still got it.
Just be in rain. You got it bad doing spins, and it looked for like 25 minutes.
Facts.
And I'm sitting here like, that's not physically possible. What surface is he on? What surface is he on? Jeez.
Skills. That's what we talking about. Them skills.
Now, Cartoon Network airs this year. Now, was there any beef? Was there like a beef between Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network?
Yeah, around that time, it was always beef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as like with the networks, it was like, you know, the Disney and Nickelodeon was like the Bloods and Crips at that point. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It was Team Ren and Stimpy.
So what's Cartoon Network? What's Cartoon Network?
I don't know. I feel like they was neutral because they was the weird kids that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? With these wild cartoons, man. But me being a cartoon connoisseur, I loved everything. You know what I mean? I watched all the Cartoon Network stuff, of course, the Nickelodeon stuff.
Favorite Nickelodeon?
Disney.
What was your favorite Nickelodeon?
At that time, if you're talking about that time, definitely Ren and Stimpy. You know what I mean? I think it's a little too wild now.
Way
that's why
too wild. I got a shirt. I was gonna wear a shirt on this for that. I loved Ren and Stimpy, but I watched it. I'm like, there's no way I can let my kid watch this shit.
Oh man, Ren and Stimpy was amazing, man. It was hilarious.
I love Doug.
Doug was dope.
Yeah, I love Doug.
Shout out Patty Mayonnaise.
Hey Arnold. That was my era.
Man,
Hey Arnold was fire. I wanted to like live in New York after that. Like I thought I remember going to New York for the first time. I was looking for like an alleyway to play stickball because of Hey Arnold. I was like, where is it? Football Head?
Do y'all remember the cartoons though around this time? Like, cause I tell people that like rappers back then had cartoons.
Who?
So like, okay, so MC Hammer had a cartoon.
I do remember that.
You know what I mean? He had a cartoon. Look it up. He had a cartoon. His shoes would come alive, and he'd jump inside his shoes, and then he would switch into Hammerman. And save everybody. And then Kid and Play had a cartoon because they had a successor House Party and all that stuff like that. And now that was even before House Party when they had the cartoon.
I think they were before that.
They had the cartoon, man. So it was crazy.
Man, we got to bring that back today. We need like a Young Thug cartoon or we need Thug something.
You know?
I don't know who would
Yachty,
be that. Who would,
you know what I mean? Turn into like a boat or something.
Bro, that would rock. Bring that back. Networks execs, I'm looking at you.
Let's go.
And then lastly, the Chronic came out this year. Dr. Dre, that's one of my favorites.
Got a story about
West Coast Kid.
What an album. This year rocks.
This year, 92.
Dude, I love the Chronic album. My memory of that is having the tape, the Chronic tape, you know, with him on it, and then playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And listening to the Chronic album for the first time while playing Sonic. You know what I mean?
Bro. Can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better than that, man. I just remember being in the basement playing Sonic, blasting Chronic.
You were a Sega kid over Nintendo, Super Nintendo?
Big Sega, man.
I had a Sega
Beast
too.
And all of that, man.
I had a Sega too, but there were Super Nintendo kids.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I did envy. I wanted the Mario.
Oh yeah.
I never got, because there was only so much you could do with Sonic and Tails.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
you know, and when Mario, when the Super Mario and that was just different world.
Different world, man. I loved it though. I love Sega though.
Then
man.
they started getting the Sega CD. Remember that whole thing? I remember that all went down.
Yeah, man.
I got a Sega. My friend had a Sega CD, and then Dreamcast came out, and Dreamcast was balling.
Neo Geo.
Yeah.
It was a
Wave
bunch
Runner.
of crazy ones. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So in high school, you pick up
hmm
your interests in theater.
Yeah, well, no, this was 92.
No,
Like,
I'm
that
saying
was theater
in general.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when was the time you had the "I made it" moment?
You know what? Well, I'll say because I don't like to say I made it. I like to say levels. So it's like because you go different levels of life. So this was part of one of the levels of the journey. And I remember when I want to say my sophomore year of high school, it was all that came along because at this point I'm doing theater in like downtown Chicago. So I'm doing Victory Gardens Theater, Goodman Theater. I modeled for Captain Crunch. I was on the back of the Crunchberry box.
Oh, heck
So
yeah.
it was like, so I had like a high top.
Crunchberry?
Yeah, I had a high top fade. It's also in,
Sister?
It's in the Wayne's
Sister
World
did
movie.
it?
She might have did that,
Okay.
right? But it's in the Wayne's World movie too.
Yeah?
If you look,
Whoa.
it's a cereal box in there, and then you see it. I think it was the joke when they were doing a joke on the doors or something like that. It's a part in there, but yeah, you'll see the Crunchberry.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was happening. And then I remember I got an agent, so I'm going on Mad auditions and stuff like that. And usually around that time, you'll get infomercials and commercials and Crunchberry box stuff, modeling stuff. But then all that came along, which was like a nationwide search. Because now you could do your Zoom auditions, you could do whatever, you know what I mean? And it makes it easier for casting directors. But back then, they had to scout. They had to fly to them cities to find those kids. And they found me in Chicago, man. And I remember auditioning. I had finals on the brain because I had finals that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went in there and I went in the room. And what was dope about going in the room is that they said impersonate. Do some impersonations. Most kids would do impersonations of like people they see on TV, right? Nah, man. I did like people I seen on the L. You know what I mean? My uncles, my aunties, my coach who was very, very mean. And like all these people voices that I did in the room turned into the characters that everybody knows today. Like, Coach Cretin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my coach. He was mean. It would be Valentine's. Kids come in like, oh, it's love. He's like, don't nobody care about no love. Shut up. That type of thing, And then Ed was in there because I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I saw that.
And I love like all those different movies, Saved by the Bell, all that stuff.
So he's Bill and Ted meets Southside of Chicago.
Exactly. So I would do that. Me and my cousins would just talk like that.
Who are you, Bill or Ted?
Like,
guy?
yeah, dude. What, dude? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Common. You heard the new Common album? Yeah. Twisted, dude. Yeah.
Totally tubular, bro.
Yeah. And so we did all that stuff, man, and did that in the room, and they loved it. And that was Ed, the voice of Ed.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, had that audition. I remember when I auditioned, it was like, I want to say 3 weeks went by. So it's like, if you audition for something 3 weeks went by, you probably ain't get it. But I remember I got a call late that night, the old school phone, it's still connected to the wall.
Landline.
And mom's was like, hello? And then it was like, what? Thank you, Jesus. What's going on? And we went to LA and it was the Avengers, bro. It was like going up against every funny kid from every city. You know what I mean? And I remember it was lines. We were out here in LA battling it out. And I was able to battle it out and get through. You know what I mean? As far as with the sketches, the comedy. And then from there, we started the show in Florida, Orlando, Florida.
Wow, so they put you guys through a tat. It's like some combine stuff. It's like NFL combine. All right, name, play, give me a joke. Where you from?
It makes you a beast.
Inspo.
Makes you a beast, man. And back then it wasn't like a lot of union rules, so we used to work crazy hours. Well, crazy hours. So it made us like comedic like beasts.
Yeah. But if you think about it, as a network, you probably gotta test these little kids because they're little. You guys are kids.
Yeah.
What's their attention span? How long can they stay focused? So you put them through all this stuff, and only the strong survive.
Only the
strong survive.
That's real. That is so.
You know
real.
what I mean? Because that's essentially what they try to do in the NFL. That's why they have the combine, the interviews, because they're going to invest a lot of time and money in this thing or this person, this player.
Thanks.
like they want to see what it's on its good day, or at least try to get a glimpse of good days, bad days, competitive stamina. Does he like to focus? Does he not like to focus? What's he like like all that? So I'm sure they're doing that with the kids.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you're not making child labor laws, bro. only the strong survive.
Only the strong. That's how it was, though.
Hey.
Real talk. Yeah, man.
So that was your level.
Yeah.
So that was like when you got to like, remember like the oil levels in Sonic?
Yeah, right.
That was like
Yeah.
that was all night affair to get there. Once you got there, you were hoping
Those
the
spikes coming down.
Yeah, spikes get you get the ring.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah.
you get to that level,
Man.
and then all of a sudden, first day on set, Nickelodeon.
Boy.
Nerves?
Woo! Okay, so first day. So we get there, and now here's the thing, because it was a special. So it was only supposed to be a special because Nickelodeon was like scared. Like they've never tried anything like this. This was a very like kid sketch comedy show. They've never done that. They had like Roundhouse, for the people that remember Roundhouse, and a couple of other shows on Nickelodeon, but nothing like with this edge to it. You know what I mean? And so they tried it out just to see what would happen, and the ratings went through the roof. So we thought we were just shooting this as a special, and we were going back home. That's literally what happened. We shot one episode, went back home, you know what I mean? And waited for it to air, and when it aired, I mean, everybody went crazy. Yeah. Ratings through the roof. Everyone went nuts. And then we went back. And I remember Josh Server, he's from Chicago, one of the cast members on the show. And we had a feeling. We were just like, yo, man, we're going to be right back in the same spot. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? And we were. Like, it came back, and we were right back there shooting the first season. And, I mean, to be in Orlando around that time, you're talking about Back to the Future 2 was popping. So they had the Back to the Future ride. Shaq was killing it with the magic. Yeah. Orlando was just that. Orlando was Magic, Universal Studios, Disney, Kenan and Kel, all that. Well, all that at that point. And so we were kicking it all through like Orlando and just having a blast with, Shaq's family. Shaq's family used to come down and be on set and stuff like that, and be in sketches, and he would come down and hang out with us. Michael Jamal Warner was directing, Kim Fields directing, and then all these amazing musical acts that I mentioned earlier. And then us in between breaks would go and go get on the Back to the Future ride and, do sketches and all that stuff like that. And then also doing schoolwork too. Because, I stayed in school, enrolled in my school in Chicago too as well. So we had, to take our test.
Homework.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Homework. too. Yeah. Had to stay. Had to do it.
What's the craziest? I mean, you guys are kids, okay? Now, I know you're on a kid network.
Yeah.
There had to be some crazy stuff behind stage, backstage, cameras not rolling. What's the craziest thing you saw back there?
Oh, man. Well, wow.
That we can... As far as you want to go.
We can't go that far. But yeah, let's say it was some crazy things. It was some crazy things you would see. And I would tell people I was a high school at that time. So this was the time to get a job anyway. So a lot of times when people are like...
High school with money and fame.
Yeah. So when they go like...
It's not just high school, folks.
Yeah, man. And when people go like kid actors, I don't feel like I would... Because I didn't get started like when I was like 5 or 8 on TV. Yeah. That's a whole different, outlook on it. But around this time, it was more of like... We were just experiencing it together, bro. Like seeing it all come together because no one knew that this vehicle of all that was going to take off like how it did. And it just kind of blew everybody's mind at that point. All of us too. We were just like, man, it's still going. This is crazy. Yeah.
Well, let's jump back. We got a segment where we go into the sports world. It's kind of piggyback off of what was going on in 92.
Yeah.
Washington beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
In Super Bowl 26, Joe Gibbs. Those
Bills
teams
just couldn't win.
Remember those teams? Mm-hmm. Are you a football fan? You a Bears fan?
I'm a Bears fan. Always will be.
85 Bears. 85 Bears.
85 Bears, man. Refrigerator Perry. Shout out to Spice Adams. You know Spice?
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's funny as hell on social. I don't know him, but I follow him.
Yeah, that's my boy, man.
Spice.
He's a Bear fan all the way down.
Bear down. He be giving funny funny ass player perspective on shit with coaches and stuff, like his little sketches.
Yeah, man. Well, he knows the game.
Yeah,
he knows.
You know, he played a long time, but there was always a funny guy in the locker room like that.
Oh yeah,
that would go above and beyond on some entertainment shit, like with the rookie skits. You could tell that dude was funny in the rookie skits.
Oh heck yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man.
Larry Bird retired.
Wow.
Larry Legend.
Damn, Larry.
August 18th. The Great White Hype.
Great play.
Gone.
Magic and Larry in the same year is tough.
Magic and Larry. That's kind of the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Why did y'all pick that picture though? He looks so.
Yo,
I'm done with all of this.
He was beat up. He was beat up. Larry didn't he have a bad back?
Terrible back. These were the years where like Larry was hiking his shorts up like past the belly button. Like the back was giving out. It was time.
That looks like a bad back picture. He's like,
these dudes are 6'9" and they're wearing those little ass. They were wearing Chuck Taylors back then. I wore a pair of Chuck Taylors 2 days ago. My feet still hurt,
dude.
That was what they were hooping in.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Yeah, their backs are fucked up.
Bill Russell would give you 40 in those, though.
Man.
Knocking it down. The Chicago Blackhawks swept the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, they were swept. The Penguins swept the Blackhawks.
Oh, Penguins.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Ooh, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Was there some hype going around Chicago then?
Penguins and Stanley Cup final. I don't remember that, but I'm sure it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about the Blackhawks? Because I wasn't into hockey at that point.
They had cool
now
uniforms.
I'm into hockey.
They had good merch.
But I love the merch.
Yeah.
Man, I rocked the Chicago Blackhawks jersey like all the time, man.
Yeah.
The Chicago Blackhawks jersey was super dope.
Were they where were they in the food chain of Chicago sports at that time?
Oh yeah, they were
for you guys. Okay,
yeah, for
all right.
Like hockey fans.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, they were
okay.
Going
No,
crazy.
but if there's the tier of sports in Chicago, at this time,
Bulls
for you personally, yeah,
Bulls
number one. Okay,
and then what's two?
Bulls, Bears,
and
then the Blackhawks.
No,
you a Sox guy or a Cubs guy?
Oh yeah, right. I forgot baseball. Okay, let's move back up. Okay, you got to put that right after the Bulls. Definitely got to put
baseball.
That after the Bulls. Oh, you got to put baseball.
White Sox or Cubs?
White Sox.
Yeah, Southside.
White Sox. It was South. He knows. Yep. White Sox, south side of Chicago, man. But of course, when the Cubs won the series, I was say, hey, I'm there. All of Chicago comes together, baby.
After that many years,
you go to the parades.
You got to come together. Back then, I went to a lot of them, man. And then shout out for the Chicago folks to know Bud Billiken parade. Yeah. That was just a parade that we do, out in Chicago, representing everybody. But yeah, man, and I remember going to a Bulls game. It had to be 92 or like early 90s. And I was a kid and we went there. We were like in the nosebleed section, like something crazy. I think I went with the Boy Scouts or something like that. But we were screaming out Mike, because this was like when the Like Mike commercials were like Mike and all that. So we were screaming out like, Michael, hoping he would turn around. And I kid you not, he turned around.
Did he?
He turned around.
Hell yeah, Mike.
I don't know if he was. It looked like he was looking right at us.
He did. He was.
But we lost it.
We believe him.
We went crazy. We were like, Michael.
Oh man, I remember going to Candlestick. I remember those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a little football team, and I don't know if you got a carton of milk or you got like a Coke.
Yeah.
You could get a Candlestick 49er ticket for like $8.
Ooh.
But Candlestick is where the Giants and the 49ers played.
Okay.
So they'd have to bring out these bleachers for when the 49ers came, and there was like an area of the field where you couldn't see anything. If it was on the other side of the 50, you couldn't see anything. That's where these tickets were.
Oh, snap.
But with these tickets, you could see behind in the hallways of where the players went. Ooh. And I remember just putting my little fingers in there, and I saw like Jerry Rice walk by, and I was just like, man, there's Jerry, and I think he gave me it reminded of that Mike moment that you were talking about. He gave me a piece.
Yeah, man.
And I was so happy.
It's big for
I was
kids.
glowing. I was glowing for like 2 weeks.
Big, man.
You remember in Hardball when the key combos go to Wrigley Field? When Keanu Reeves takes him to Wrigley Field, and Jefferson Albert Tibbs, he's like Sammy, and Sammy turns around and waves back. Remember that? Sammy's taking BP and he waves. That was so awesome.
Such sweet moments, man. I did see a sad moment with an athlete, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's because you were saying like stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say the athlete's name.
Yeah.
But this was like, because, we got invited to all those, remember the All-Star Weekend kid, like, events that they used to do with the concert stuff. So anyway, all the players are coming out, and I remember the kid, it was raining, and the kid had the Sharpie with the ball. And he's like looking at
what
the
kind
player
of ball?
And the basketball.
Okay.
Basketball.
Okay.
The Wilson basketball. He's
So
just
it's a
like,
basketball?
It's a basketball.
So
Oh,
the basketball player.
He's
Basketball player.
narrowing down.
We're coming. We're going to get it out of
What
here.
year is this? What year?
So he's like, he's sitting there with a Sharpie, bro. And he's just like, can't wait. And this like, and I'm looking now because, I'm like, what's going to happen? The player comes out, we're on at this point, Keenan Kel, all this stuff. And he walks out and the player just bumps him. And the ball hits the kid's face. It's the saddest moment ever, dude. And it hits him in the face, and he just watches him go get in the car and just drive off. I'm like, no. And I was like, I don't want to do that to the fans. Like, you can't do that, man. That kid, it was so sad.
So
I'm trying to think who that would be. Oh, my God.
So did you bump Chris Webber and say, man, what's up with that? Was it Chris Webber? Nah, Chris, I'm a big Chris fan, man. I'm just messing around.
Oh, man. But yeah, that was a wild one. That was a wild one. I needed to see that, though, so I could be like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
You never know, though. I try to, like with kids and when you're signing things, it's always easy with the kids. But sometimes you have these autograph people that send these kids. There's these autograph scalpers.
Sneaky.
They find out you're in an airport. It's 3:00 in the morning. You get in an airport. How come there's a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid in the airport 3:00 in the morning?
See?
Only the strong survive.
Only the strong survive.
Putting them kids to work.
He put those kids to work.
He said, that's a little Charlie that works with that crazy man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, they call him Chuck.
He's really 35. He looks 8.
All right. Let's jump into the game. Jack,
let's go.
Should we get into these teams?
Yeah, let's set the stage for these Trailblazers.
Let's kick it off with the Blazers.
Give me some background, Jack. What's going on in this game?
This was a good Blazers team. This was a good Blazer era. 57-25, led by Clyde, as we were talking about earlier. He was having a MVP caliber season. This was their second trip to the finals in 3 years. They went in 1990, lost to Isaiah Thomas and those Pistons. They kept the same core for those years. This was also the last trip to the finals for the Blazers, which is a bummer. Coached by Rick Adelman.
Big basketball area.
They love it out
I
there.
play with like guys from Oregon that are from Oregon. Like they love basketball.
They love their Blazers,
is a
man.
it's a big community out there.
Big time. Bill Walton, baby.
Yeah, Bill Walton.
Classic Blazer. I'll crowbar him in anytime I get the chance. Danny Ainge also on this team. An old Danny. Clyde, big Clifford Robinson, led by Rick Adelman, as we noted earlier. And this was their 10th straight trip to the playoffs, so this was a solid era for the Blazers.
Yeah, they were killing it around that time.
Kel, what comes to mind when you think of this era Blazers? Clyde?
Man, first of all, because I'm into fashion, the starter jacket was insane.
Oh, man.
That's cool color.
Great
Anytime
logo,
you got
too.
silver and red
Timeless
and black.
logo.
Those are good. That's honestly why the Blackhawks were cool gear, because anytime you have black, red, and they got that little yellow and shit in there, like those are fire colors.
And I remember in the household, it was, Clyde. I mean, this was like the battle of the, of the century. These are the two superstars. You talk about Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler. It was always crazy, and this team was really good. You know what I mean? They were good.
Yeah.
They
all-time starters jacket though. What's your all-time fire? Straight drippy.
Fire straight drippy one. Love the Bulls, of course, but then also the one that I remember is the Raiders. Remember when they used to have the starters trench coat?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's my
for the
joint.
real heads.
Yeah, DJ Quick used to rock that all the time, and I remember I got that one. I was like, yeah.
Hornets one was fire too.
I had my fire.
Right. Yep.
My fire
Yep.
starters jacket was in '94. I got a San Jose Sharks. That teal, black, and white.
That was a hard one. Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a teal. It wasn't like, Miami. It was kind of like a blue, but like Miami's all. This was like black and white with a little teal.
Mm-hmm.
Shit was fired. It was like 8 sizes too big. I think I got it at a garage sale. But I wore that thing for like 9 years.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Come on.
Should we get into these Bulls?
Let's go.
Heck yeah. This was the middle year of the three-peat. 92 or 91-92, coming off their first title in franchise history MJ winning his second straight MVP this season.
Straight.
This is Jordan. This is Pippen. This is Horace Grant. We're led by Phil Jackson. 67 wins, 15 losses. I mean, it was a...
At the time, that was a record, right?
At
And
the
then
time, that was a
Warriors
record.
beat that.
Now the Warriors had their 70-something. Also had guys like... This was like John Paxton, the Stacey Kings, the Cartwright. Kel was out there putting up... When everyone else was yelling Jordan, Kel was yelling Cartwright, shooting.
Yeah. Little
B.J. Armstrong. This was...
little something in there, but it goes in.
Yeah.
It goes in.
This was, of course, Jerry Krause. He was the GM, as Michael always had as a foil in the Last Dance. Michael was hating Jerry Krause.
We're pro MJ side.
We're pro MJ.
Just podcast, just to let everyone know, pro MJ.
Pro MJ.
Screw
Average
Krause.
30
I don't want that
this
guy to
year.
ever see me and like hear that I said anything, and then he'll like try to outcompete me in something.
Always looking for the edge. Always needed that chip on his shoulder.
Oh,
Whether he's got to manufacture it or not. That's why he's the GOAT, though.
I told this story
MJ,
about meeting MJ. Have I told it on here?
I think you have, but tell it again.
Yeah, I met MJ right before the Super Bowl. We were playing the Seahawks.
Yeah.
It was, you'll take your family out, and I took my family out to a restaurant. MJ was there with Jeter.
Yeah.
And Jeter was like, most loving dude, nice. I went and introduced myself. I'm playing in the game. And I went up to, hey, Mr. Jeter, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Julian Edelman, playing, and he's like, oh, man, yeah, cool, yeah. And MJ was like a little, kind of standoffish, looking at me like, who's this little dude? And so finally, at the end of everything, I dap him up. I go, Mr. Jordan, nice to meet you or something. And he goes, got a lot of riding on you. You boys, don't fuck it up. That's all he said to me. That's when I knew.
Yeah.
He a dog. He's a dog. He basically said, don't fuck it up. I got a lot of money on you guys. That's the only thing he said to me. Derek Jeter's, we had a 10-minute conversation. We were talking this, that.
Keep your head in the game.
MJ.
I love it, man. Shout out to MJ, man.
You ever get to meet him?
I did. And what's cool is that I met his kids and his wife first.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool because it was one of the All-Star weekends.
Isn't one of his kids dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife?
I believe so. I think they're engaged.
Oh, I wonder how that holiday party goes.
Bro.
I'm not speaking on that. Have MJ come out.
Hey, we already established it's a team MJ.
But they were super nice, man. Super nice. And it was cool that they were walking up because they watched all that in Keenan and Kel, and they were excited. I took pictures with them at that time. So that was cool. And at this point, I believe, because this was the game where Kobe, well, I know we're talking about a different game, but this was the All-Star game where Kobe and Michael Jordan met up, which that was crazy. Because Kobe had been on our show, which was super awesome around that time, and we had a blast with him. But yeah, and then I've seen MJ other times in North Carolina. I was up there. I was doing this Nickelodeon thing. This was a couple of years ago, Nickelodeon thing, and so it's always been cool. Like I always hear the crazy stories, but it's like I haven't had a sit down conversation. So, but it's always been like, hey. Yeah. Hi, and he gave me a jersey. He told me I can go to the store and get whatever. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
I almost signed with Jordan.
Really?
Yeah. After the Super Bowl MVP, we were talking with Jordan Brand.
Nice.
But I would have had to kill JE11. They didn't say you couldn't have no off field merch.
It's only because you covered that bet for him too.
But
y'all hadn't covered him.
I heard MJ wanted me in there. He said I like him.
Yeah,
this guy covers.
So
Jordan Brand,
man.
Shout out to
That
Jordan
would have been
Brand.
sick. Should we get into the lead up of this game?
Let's get into the lead up.
Set the stage. All right, so this is the finals, of course. The path to get there. Chicago ran through Miami, had a tough 7-game series with the Knicks. This was the first year of the Pat Riley era in New York, so that was always a great rivalry. Then they met Cleveland again, another playoff foe for them. Portland, an easier path. LA, Phoenix, Utah only lost
Old LA.
Only lost 4 games in that those 3 series, so they were moving. Again, we talked about it a little bit earlier with Kel. Chicago moved. They were posting up Mike a little bit more in this playoff run, getting to Mike in the post. The turnaround was working. And then also the media, with the passing of the torch, as we said, Larry's moving out, Magic's moving out. They wanted it to be Clyde versus Mike. Sports Illustrated, the week before this series started, got the cover right here as we see on a collision course, and it's Clyde driving on Mike. And then there was also the narrative that Clyde was kind of had the edge, similar player. The numbers were similar, number 1 and 2 in MVP voting this year, but they were giving Clyde the advantage because his three-point shooting was better. Yeah. But as we said earlier, Mike had that famous quote, it's because I don't, he's saying I don't choose to shoot as many threes as Clyde does. So coming into this series, which is a very interesting stat here, Clyde had 338 attempts that season, shot 33.7%. Mike only had 100 attempts all year in 82 games, shot 27%. So that means he made 27 threes out of those 82 games. It just wasn't a part of Mike's game at the time, which is pretty telling.
You think Mike would have You think Mike would have changed his game and dominated this era? He had to have. Yeah. I do. I think so.
Definitely.
I think so. Mike's a dog.
Mike is amazing. He's amazing. And it's just like with them threes. I mean, in the first half, with what do you have? 35. Yeah, it's just like whew, whew, he was killing it. You can't tell him he can't do something because he gonna do it. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan's gonna do it. You know what I mean? He's in Chicago, a hero, man.
Did you buy into this hype though of the MJ versus Clyde?
Yeah, I mean, they were putting them up against each other so much. I mean, you know what I mean? It was like that. You know what I mean? And you wanted to see him win. And seeing it as a kid, these were like our heroes. You know what I mean? That we were watching. And it was like a superhero, fight. You know what I mean? Like against these two like amazing basketball players, man, at the time.
Yeah.
And everybody was playing the video games, of course, at that time too,
Now,
going against them.
You guys get your first championship last year being a Chicago native.
Mm-hmm.
Got Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player in the world.
Yeah.
Like going into this championship, what's the buzz in the city? Like, oh, we're going to handle these fools? Or was there a little like, we got to look out for Clyde? Or is it like, we got something crazy special here? What was going around Chicago?
Both handle and look out for Clyde. You know what I mean? Because, they were crazy. Defense, offense. They could do pretty much everything. You know what I mean? So it was the same thing. Like knowing, and Phil, I think, is just amazing at what he does. Yeah. You know what I mean? As far as like his coaching is bananas. And to see that in this game, because you're thinking one thing is going to happen. They were in the paint waiting for Michael to do these dunks, waiting for him to do these layups. Then all of a sudden, it's like, uh-oh.
No.
You know what I mean? Uh-oh, here come these threes. I'm going to rain on you real quick,
Well, the last one was the best because, oh, my God. It was Clyde airballed the
yeah.
And this isn't a hate on Clyde podcast.
No, he's amazing.
We're just going into the matchup of what this is, the Shrug Game. But as soon as he airballed it, Jordan went, took it, slap.
The roof blew. I mean,
roof blew off the place. It was like 3 feet behind.
Insane.
Yeah, man.
And that's when he did the shrug.
It's crazy. When he did the shrug, he was like, hey.
Looked over at Magic at the scorer's table.
Now, Magic said he was taking his money all night before with
That's
his dad.
the story. The story goes.
And he said he was shrugging him up because of that. I don't know, Magic.
He was still riled up from getting whooped in cars by Magic and Mr. Jordan.
Is that what Magic said?
That's what Magic said. He said he woke up.
I love Magic, man. Now, I met Magic a bunch of times.
No,
Magic.
You got any good Magic stories?
Oh, what?
Gotta give us one.
He's always his show. Like, do y'all remember his TV show?
Yeah,
Magic Johnson show. It was like the Tonight Show, and he had a great show. Keenan and Kel were on there. And he always would encourage us, like, you guys, you got it. You two, y'all got it. And so he would tell us
good impression.
That's a really good Magic.
What we had, and he always had a big smile on his face, just like a lot of inspiration for us, man. And I mean, and doing his talk show was fun because that was amazing. Seeing him, put the jokes together and all that stuff.
Hey,
like
Magic
that.
Johnson,
yeah,
as an athlete, is such a crazy inspiration.
Dude, as a businessman.
Yeah, you know what I mean? How to translate.
Yeah.
He's translated his career where a lot of kids don't. I mean, if you're a historian of the game, Magic Johnson, and he was an all-time great. But a lot of these kids know him as a businessman now.
Mm-hmm.
He a team owner of this. He's in everything. He's got a bunch of franchises of this.
Yeah,
man he's gone on and succeeded so much,
bro,
in every facet of his life. It's a real inspiration for young athletes that got to play professionally. How to translate after, your career's done. Because this is a great temp job, but this is a temp job. This ain't like Hollywood, where you guys can, reinvent yourself and go and become, older guy. This, you got a certain amount of time, and there's a lot of guys that it hits so hard when it ends.
That's right.
Because you've been a creature of habit. You've been used to being an athlete, and then all of a sudden the day it's gone. You got to take guys like Magic Johnson. You got to, and like, that's a man who uses time well, uses connections well, his resources well, and now he's at the top in the pinnacle. Hey man, Shaq's in there.
Yeah, bro.
Beckhams of the world. These guys that put their hands in so many, cool areas and succeed.
Yeah. Was Magic the first to do that? With like this, from being an athlete to start commentating? Was he first, or was that who did that first?
First to be commentating that.
Yeah, the games and stuff like that. Like. You know what I mean?
That was he was one of the ones that had the quickest turnaround from retirement to booth. But I gotta look. Let me see.
Yeah, like who went to the booth first? Because I feel like that's like dope that athletes are doing it now. Like, but I feel like Magic. I feel like Magic kind of showed everybody how to do it, but I don't know if he was the first one to do that. Yeah.
Now, do you remember where'd you watch this game?
It was on a TV.
Do you remember where you're
at? In Chicago. I know I was in Chicago. It had to be a barbecue at the house.
Yeah.
Because everybody used to come over and watch the games, and everybody's screaming.
Was that the usual?
I just remember everybody screaming at the house. They're super excited about it. Come on, Mike! Yeah, Mike!
Now after this game at the barbecues at the play, did you immediately start seeing kids just shrug all the time after they hooped?
That's the thing.
Someone's face.
I mean, yeah, you definitely doing that.
It became a phenom. It was like everyone did it. I didn't even play basketball that much. I'd do a football play.
Nice. Of course, everybody did that, man, and it was great. I remember because I was a short kid for a little bit, and I remember my sister's boyfriend. He threw me the ball in the game. I was playing all these, big kids, and I had to do a 3-point, and I did the shrug. This was an amazing moment. This is amazing.
Hell yes.
It's like we were at Gately Stadium. Shout out to Gately, Southside Chicago. Everybody know what I'm talking about. And they threw the ball to me, and I wasn't a crazy basketball player, but it was cool to be playing with these older kids. Hadn't shot a shot yet the whole game, and then they threw it out to me because I was open.
Yeah.
This is a big moment. You know what I mean? Because I had to show what I could do.
Yeah, when you're a young kid, you got.
And I didn't know. I mean, like I said, it had the cart right with it. It was a little off, and I threw it. And everybody's like, "We don't know what's gonna happen." And that ball was flying in the air. And it went, whew, and I was like, "Hey, that's what I do. Not really what I do. But I said, "Hey, they didn't know."
It's such a slap in the face too.
Won the game. That was the winning shot.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean, every kid did it.
Every kid did.
Jackie, you
had to do it. You maybe got him with a, did I do that?
Oh,
too. It's kind of saying the same thing.
Irk
was popping
back then.
He's popping.
Irk was popping.
I'm more a Stephon guy, but
shout out to
I
Julian.
like to think that was going through Mike's head when he just rained a 6'3" on his head, setting the record. That was the story of this game. I mean, the lasting image, the most iconic moment. I mean, it's a GIF now. You fucking send that everywhere. Again, 39 for Mike this game, 35 in the first half. 6 threes in the first
Didn't
half.
even play six minutes in the second quarter.
Yeah, they sat him and start the second
6
quarter.
minutes.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
He did that without, insane. Portland started off hot. They were hitting everything.
They did.
Then Jordan responds, takes over after missing the 2 first threes. And also, it's worth noting, 11 assists for MJ in this one.
Ooh.
Finished up with 39, and they end up winning 122-89. A blowout to start off the series. Kel, at this point, did we all right, we're good money in this series? Definitely. We just almost gave him a 40-piece.
Yeah. I mean, but around this time, it was so crazy in this series because you knew Portland was good too as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was always like you couldn't just sit back. You know what I mean? You had to wait and see what would happen. It was you were always on the edge of your seat, and that's what I really remember in every series, and that's why the Bulls were so dope because, just when you think like, oh no, you know what I mean, they'll come right back at.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the finals for a reason.
Of course.
There's nothing there's nothing comforting, I assume, for a fan until the fat lady sings, or I don't know if you say that. The lady sings.
Yeah, you gotta say ladies.
I like big bone ladies anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, man, like you hear Shannon Sharp the other day? He said, if you ain't 180, you ain't a lady.
Shannon.
He's killing it.
He's killing it, bro.
Man, so aftermath, the Bulls go on to win the series 4-2. Jordan, Pippen, and Drexler all play on the dream team with our old guys.
Larry was still there. That was Larry's last.
Remember, he was icing the back.
Last hurrah. I was reading a little something about that this morning. They said Jordan just dogged Clyde the whole training camp, every practice.
Really?
He was like, didn't I just bust your ass? Like, they said it got to the point where dudes had to be like, yo, chill, Mike.
Got it.
Got it.
Man.
You could tell. There's guys that they use that shit, to bring them to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it was Mike.
I mean, we've all watched the series. The dude's crazy in a great way. The Bulls would three-peat by winning 92, 93, 94.
Bro.
This was the middle. Jordan retires in 93.
Remember that?
To go play baseball.
I remember that.
What'd you think of that, Kel?
That was wild.
How was that as a...
We were like, what? What are you doing? What? But then it was kind of like, because I think around this time, I was into it because I'm just like, well, I mean, he's killing it in basketball. And Bo Jackson was doing everything around that time. So I'm just like, of course, like, yeah, let's see what he could do with it.
You thought he was good?
Yeah, I mean, not as good as basketball, but he did his thing.
Dude,
I remember he hit a home. I remember it was a thing where he hit a home run, like he did something, like some type of home run. I didn't follow the baseball career much, but I remember when it happened and everybody's like, "Yo!" And then with golf, because I remember he did that too, and he did it and got it right in the hole. So he had his moments.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't Frank? It was his manager, the Boston guy, Franco. What? Manager that won with the Red Sox.
Oh, Terry Francona.
Yeah, Francona was his manager on the AAA team.
That's right. Tito, Birmingham Barons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, good pull there, bro.
Now, do you ever think any athlete will have the same kind of aura, solar system, whatever you want to call it?
Wow.
Like Mike.
Man.
I mean, his shoe. I'm still wearing his shoes.
Yeah,
30 years
facts. Facts. Me too. I feel like everybody has their story. You know what I mean? Like you can't, because a lot of comparing. Everybody wants to compare. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this person's like that and this, but everybody got their own thing, and I think that's what's really cool about it. Like you kind of look at it like these are. Like I always say Avengers, but I'm into like, Marvel and all that stuff like that. But you got to look at it like give every superhero, their props. You know what I mean? Like
all right, well,
this thing,
you're a Marvels guy. Who's Michael Jordan in the Marvels
See,
family?
look what he doing. You see how he did that?
I mean,
he's smooth with it. He's a pro, baby.
Let me see. Okay, so this is the Avengers. Okay, and we got all the superheroes. I want to say he's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
And the only reason, and people are probably gonna be like, "What? But
Let's hear it.
But Spider-Man is like the most recognizable out of all the Avengers. Like if you really like kind of look at it, and then the colors that he has. If you look at what he does and how he's still staying with it, you know what I mean? Like it's still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still there. Like no matter what everybody else is going on, Spider-Man is still doing his thing.
Jordy sense?
Yeah, man. I feel like that's what it is, man.
Who's LeBron?
You know what I mean? Who's LeBron? I want to say he's Hulk.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? It's Hulk. It's like the same, you know what I mean? It's that vibe.
Well, then
You know
who's
what
Shaq?
Who's Shaq? Shout out to Shaq, man. Good burger. He was a good burger. Who's Shaq in the Marvel Universe? Who y'all think Shaq is? I'm trying to think where I could put Shaq in the Marvel Universe.
Oh, man.
That would be dope. Wait, okay, so we got LeBron as Hulk. We got Michael Jordan as Spider-Man. And you got Shaq as
I think Michael Jordan, Thanos.
He got the rings.
I'm just thinking heroes.
I was just saying.
I didn't. You went villain side. You went villain
Hey,
though.
man, who got
you
all
went
the rings?
Villain, though. I didn't
Who
know.
got all the rings?
I didn't know we was including the villains. Okay, well, yeah, with all the rings, then you got Thanos.
Well, that's Bill Russell then. Actually.
That's a fun one. Y'all need to put that out there, man. That's a fun one to do, like the Marvel universe of NBA teams. That's a hot
You
one.
got it.
Yeah, that's a hot one. I like that.
Now, like it was so crazy. MJ He retires, goes and plays basketball for a couple of years, comes back, three-peats again.
Yep.
We ever seen a three-peat in basketball again?
Ooh. Like that? Ooh.
In general. Is there going to be another three-peat?
I don't know.
It's such a different world
Different
now.
time now.
Team building.
With the with the players switching teams so much. You know what I mean? It's a whole different vibe now. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Mike stayed there. He was like, we're going to rock it out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's right.
Jackie, do we have any leftovers?
We got
Leftovers.
we talked
Uh-oh. What's happening?
just some questions we didn't get to earlier.
Okay.
We're talking Jordans, we're talking the cultural impact, the staying power. Kel, if you had to pick a favorite Jordan shoe, what are you picking 1 through 20, whatever they've been?
He's right here.
Can't go wrong with some ones.
Sick. You can't go.
It's only one answer.
Yeah.
There's one answer. That's right. I like the Space Jams. I'm an 11 guy.
I do like the Space Jams because I do have a pair of those, so I do love the Space Jam joints. The flu game.
Flu game.
That shoe was insane. I like that shoe.
I like
that shoe.
I also I used to train in the 10s.
Oh yeah,
because they were wide.
Mm-hmm.
They were comfy. They were like Cadillacs.
Yeah.
I had the 12s. I played in my 7th grade basketball team on the 12s.
Oh, 12s was hard. Yeah.
And they had a little guy in the back, the hologram guy, but people were kind of calling them like Payless shoes.
Oh no.
Because remember they had the dots like the Payless shoes used to have?
Yeah.
And people were like, those Payless. I'm like, no, these are fucking Jordans, dude. What are you talking about, Payless?
That's the worst. Oh my gosh.
About.
We got Kel. We talked burgers earlier.
Yeah.
A couple of burger connoisseurs here. If you had to build your perfect burger, what's on that thing?
Ooh. Okay, so you gotta have some avocado on that.
Avocado.
You know what I mean?
California.
Avocado.
He's been in Cali.
People in Chicago, it's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all right.
We're gonna put some of this California stuff on it.
Let's get that healthy in there. Throw that in there.
Healthy fats.
I've had so many different burgers. You got salmon burgers. If you know how to do turkey right, you got the good turkey burger because some people dry turkey out. They don't know how to barbecue it correctly. But being from Chicago, I know how to smoke the meat the right way
Traeger?
and make it
Traeger?
real nice. Yeah.
Traeger smoker.
Yeah.
Just throw it in there.
You know what I mean? Come on. Make it real right.
What's our sauces?
You know what I mean? The sauces, you gotta go with Ed sauce.
Egg sauce?
No, Ed.
Ed sauce.
Ed from
sauce.
Good Burger.
Now, what is Ed sauce?
That's Ed sauce. Good burger.
Well, no, but what
I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Is it like 1,000 Island?
You got to come by the house, man. It's a secret.
Well, how do I find this Ed sauce?
From Ed.
Well, where can I go to? Where can I see Ed?
Right here, dude.
Where do I get the sauce?
I
Is the sauce here?
had to make the burger for you, dude, and put the sauce on there.
Well, how do I get the?
Who's on first here? Oh my Lord.
Let's grade the game. Let's
go.
The name of the game is the Shrug Game. Is this the best game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes. Game 1 is game 1 of the championship. So the stakes of the game, 1 to 10, decimals okay. But the stakes in a game 1 of a final, now we've had game 7s, we've had Super Bowls. What are the stakes 1 to 10 with decimal being okay?
I think we're going up against. This is 1 through 10.
1 through 10. 10 being
Stakes are high.
high stakes.
They're high.
10, man. high stakes.
But just to put in,
Yeah.
in perspective, in context, we've had, game 7s on this show. We've had,
One game eliminations.
one
You
game
got-
limbs.
If you fuck up this game, you got 6 more to correct it and catch up. But
So are we
it
still
is still
going
a
with 10?
finals. It's still a finals.
Still, we're going 10.
Yeah, man.
All
It's
right,
high stakes,
10.
man.
Go
I
with
feel like
10.
it's high.
All right.
I feel like it's high.
Star power.
Oh, that's big.
How many? 1 to 10.
It's pretty high.
It's pretty
I
high.
feel like it's pretty
Do
high.
we have people at the game? Any stars
You know
in the
what I
game?
mean?
I didn't see any in the crowd that were of note. No, this isn't full LA celeb row, but
I mean,
on the court, Jordan, Pippen, Phil,
some legendary.
Clyde,
Yeah, on the court.
Ainge.
Crazy.
Aim. All right, so
Yeah,
it's,
man.
is it 1 to 10? So this is you,
I
baby.
get, let's do a 9.
9. All right, we'll go 9.
Let's
We'll
do
9.
Yeah.
The gameplay.
That
I mean,
big.
it was what was the final score?
122-89. So it was wasn't
Blowout.
close.
Blowout. It was a statement game.
Yeah. That
Start
was
out
definitely
hot.
a statement.
Start fast from the
Yeah.
Bulls.
And letting them know what's happening. I'm gonna go. Let's go 10, man.
10 on the gameplay.
Yeah,
I mean, he
go
did
10.
set a record in the first half for most threes and 35 points that still stand today.
It still stands today.
The name of the game, the Shrug Game, 1 to 10. What is the name?
Oh, y'all rate the name of the
You
game?
gotta rate the name.
Oh, I like that. The Shrug. I mean, the Shrug, that's what it was. But I get 8.
8?
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
No,
fair.
I just got one of my
Yeah.
producers hit me. He's sick right now, named Kyler. He's gonna go and say, well, gameplay being a 10 on a 40 point blowout, like we've had 28 to 3, we've had this, we've had that. Now are you sure? Final question, final answer. You want gameplay to be a 10.
Kyler's our Russian judge. He's the Russian judge.
He's Russian judge.
He's tough.
He's Russian judge.
Do I want gameplay to be a 10? I mean, if we're talking about what happened, though, man.
That's him right now. He's working remote.
He said thank you.
Yeah, he's working remote.
Oh, so I can't.
No, you can. But just we're gonna put
But
this.
think about what happened, man. Like, this is us seeing Jordan, like, take out
Hey,
this,
this is
show this other skill.
keep it 10. What's the? Let's see what the.
You know?
If my math is correct, I believe this is a 9.25
Where does it stand
in our list here.
of the games that we've done
Oh,
here
let's
on
see that.
Games with Names?
Just behind Game 4 of, or just ahead of Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, and then just behind the 18-1 Super Bowl Giants versus Patriots.
What was that the game where the Red Sox were down 3-0 and they were down like a bunch of
Yes.
and then they came back
Back
and-
against the wall, Big Poppy, Mr. Clutch comes through, and the rest is history.
Oh man,
So yeah, this is a high one, man.
it's a high one.
It's our first Jordan game, so
It's our
gotta
first
be.
Jordan game,
Oh, well,
Yeah.
then there it is.
Yeah,
and
there
it's
it is.
I mean, it's a
Chi-town,
Shrug
baby.
game.
it's a Shrug game.
Chi-town, baby.
Give him the shrug.
Shrug.
Yo. And since this is a show, NBA players, Ron Harper was on Keenan and Kel.
We were watching that
Yeah, we were
yesterday.
watching that episode.
Dude, he dropped the orange soda right on his foot.
I dropped it on
We
his
were
foot,
watching
man.
because we had just went, we do research, and I wanted to brush up, and we saw Ron Harper.
Was
on
he
it.
cool?
He was mad cool,
Heck
man.
yeah.
Mad cool. It was like, and then you could see, acting. It was like his, first acting gig, but he did it. He got the lines down. It was cool. Yeah.
Who is the worst celebrity at acting?
I'm not gonna answer.
Gronk was it? It wasn't Gronk. Gronk was in that.
Gronk's
Good
a
Burger too with
killer.
you.
Oh, he comes ready, man, with
That's
the
our
improv and all that. I love Gronk, man. We've worked with him a few times.
We just had Gronky on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome, bro. Got a great Welcome to Good Burger like impersonation too.
Yeah, does he?
Yeah, he does. He cracks me up, man. But yeah, man. Nah, I mean,
Nah, you don't have to answer.
okay, yeah. I'm not gonna answer that, man. I'm gonna see these people in the streets.
Man, Kel, we miss anything from this game?
Nah, man. I mean, it was an awesome game. Amazing game. I mean, everybody that knows that's seen it, it's great. And the commentating by Magic is amazing in it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man, the Shrug Game, man, you got to do it. You know what I mean? And then don't let nobody, box you in.
Man,
You know what I mean?
can't.
Can't let them box you in.
You
Michael
can't.
showed us that. Yeah.
Michael, he'll stew something up and
Yeah.
punish you for it. Dude,
I'm such a villain. He's like,
everyone, you got to go out and see Good Burger 2
yes.
on Paramount Plus, streaming now. Anything we miss? You want
Man.
anything else to plug?
Man, much love, y'all. When I come back, we got to talk about Rodman.
That's right.
This is Pro Rodman Podcast.
Shout out Dennis.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
The worm.
But yeah, man. Good Burger 2, man. Go check it out, man.
Gotta check
It's
it out.
awesome. Yeah.
I appreciate you coming
Oh
on,
man, thank you for having me, bro. Have fun, man.
Thanks, Kel.
Man, what a fun episode.
Kel rocked, man. Good energy. What a guy.
What an energy, what a guy. And also it brought us down memory lane of, like, at least for me, I'm 37, turned 38, 92, Nickelodeon,
Sweet spot. Sweet spot.
sweet spot.
Oh my God. Speaking of that, and speaking of good burger and great fictional burger spots, that brings us to the post-show segment.
What's a post-show segment?
Let's talk about which fictional burger spots we would most want to hit up.
What's a Pulp Fiction spot?
Dude, that is my pick. Big Kahuna Burger.
Big Kahuna Burger.
They got the
I think they're
tasty
opening one of
beverages.
those.
Really?
Yeah, I think someone's opening it. That always did. It looks pretty good.
I kind of like that. They had Burger World and Beavis and Butthead.
Burger World.
Fatso Burger from that 70s show.
I like Krusty Burger from
Krusty Burger from The Simpsons. God, I love that, man. Krusty. What else we got? Paunch Burger from Parks and Rec.
What's the burger in SpongeBob?
Oh, Krabby Patty.
Krabby Patty.
Krabby Patty. Also, can't forget about McDowell's, bro. Coming to America.
That's the best
Coming to
one.
America. That's the best one.
From Coming to America.
We're sitting in New York, huddled up, eating a McDowell's.
Oh my God. Remember the scene where he's talking about the Giants?
No.
And he was talking about the Giant, Eddie Murphy's guy. He was talking about the Giants and the boss, the dad. He goes, son, you need to lay off. Don't fact check me, but I just saw it on something. It was pretty funny.
My Coming to America knowledge is I haven't seen it in a while. I
love Coming to America.
We got to rewatch that.
The barbershop scenes are always the best.
Oh my God, with Eddie playing everybody.
Eddie Murphy as the white guy is so funny.
It'll never not be funny playing the old white guy.
He's like the original guy that did other like all characters in the movie.
Came back to bite when he was doing all the characters in Norbit. That's why they said they didn't give him the Oscar. Because he was up for the Oscar in Dreamgirls. And then Norbit came out in between the voting period, and they punished him for Norbit. Norbit.
Whatever.
How are you going to punish Eddie for that?
Can't
forget about some other ones. You got McBurger Town and Family Guy. They're counting, some of these lists count the Max from Saved by the Bell. I don't really think that is a burger spot. I think more as like a
Max,
like a diner. It's a good spot to sit on a chair backwards, AC Slater style. But burger,
I mean, they probably got a burger, but you probably get like mozzarella sticks there.
Yeah, like a little basket of fries.
Yeah,
like you're trying to riz up, Kelly Kapowski here. I'm not trying to stuff my face with a big burger.
Nah, it can't be sloppy. Maybe some chicken fingers.
Something good and clean.
Yeah.
All right, so I feel like the consensus is we're hitting Big Kahuna.
Big Kahuna.
Hell yes. Shout out Quentin. Shout out Samuel.
Yeah, Julius.
This is a tasty burger. Yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
What an episode. Thanks to Kel again. That's been another episode of Games with Names presented by WinBet. Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. We'll see you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.